Unmuting finally. I think it's working. Let's run through some cameras. 1, 2, 3. We're good. All right. Oh. All right. Let me get this popped up so I can see. Yeah, windows never go where you want them to. Copy. Working loud and clear. Thank you, Mr. Chris. I'm going to pin that at the top. That way we can have people move over there. Cool. Kick that off. Keep that on. Now I just have to be able to watch the chat. Ha. Oh, shit. If he can remember to do that, we'll see. All right, so I already partially pulled this thing apart to look at it. It needs a DC jack. It's an old computer, but still very useful. So let's see what we can determine, if anything, is repairable on this motherboard to get the DC jack on it, or if I need to replace a laptop. This thing is definitely older, going by that, and the fact of only SATA SSD. Real shit with one thing of RAM, but I hope it's 8 gig. It is. All right, good enough. We got to extract this board. We got some work to do. Let's try and get that far. We're going to see if we can do this with Wi-Fi instead of Ethernet like traditionally, because the Wi-Fi has actually got a better connection than the Ethernet cable with the old crap that I have here. So 1, 2, and there is no third. We'll take a look at his DC jack in a moment. Yeah, mic now working loud and clear. Figures. Oh, it's the battery. Okay. Battery. We should be able to pull this out shortly. A few screws. What do we got? What is that? Speakers? Maybe? Is that it? Let's take a look at it. So this thing was repaired in a time when at least I was not able to find DC jacks years ago. Not one for this one, not without buying a ridiculous amount of stuff. Scope working it is. So we got to look at the one side of this to see just taking and moving some stuff quickly. Shaky cam. So the back portion of it was ripped out and ripped off the board, and it doesn't look good. Now, none of the other sides look good, but that can't be helped. We're going to see if we can repair this because the center pin was knocked loose. Let's check it to see how loose that thing actually may be. Yeah, that's loose. So we're going to have to bust loose all these old solder joints that aren't even joints. They're just kind of made. And let's compare the jack that's in there to the jack that we have. They're actually two different jacks. This is the one for this board that I wasn't able to find. This was one that got transplanted on the best way I could many years ago. As you can see, I got a very similar pinout, got it anchored in, and it looks absolutely dreaded. That's okay, we're going to take it off of there and put a proper one in. As long as it still fits, let's hope. It should be super easy to knock loose. Indeed, I am still playing around with computers. Should I not? Computers, game consoles, everything. So there's a jack that don't belong. Let's try and get one on that does after many years. a figure 8 cable wired in. I've never done that, but I have put a DC jack dongle out the side of laptops quite a few times, Chris. Like when the board got broken to the point that was I'm going to say 15 plus years ago. I've had just a DC jack hanging out the side by its wires. Put a little bit of extra heat shrink around them, and yeah, they're sturdy enough for most purposes. All right, all the remnants of a jack that didn't belong in there pulled out. Now let's see if we can get in, clean up this a little, and possibly repair that power area back there, see what's left of it. Because we do have the jack that fits here now. If it's going to work, it's going to be a whole nother thing. Let's grab some wick, see if we can do a little cleanup. It is, you know what? It really is a classic quick fix. It's a very classic fix, man. And might I add, it actually works. So, way bigger soldering iron tip than I want, but it does help with picking solder up, so we'll swap over. Or we won't. Let's see what we can grab from the opposite side of the board, if anything. Yeah, it doesn't look too promising down here, but we'll try it. Hot, hot, hot. Ah. Don't touch the hot stuff. Need to try UK Slacker. I don't know if people are gonna want to buy in if you change your name to that. That yeah. Well, I mean, maybe. How important is it to get all that out of there? Not very, but it would help. Really don't want to have to hot air this jack on there, being that they're mostly plastic inside that thin metal shell. Yeah, this is gonna pick up and then stop right as we get there. Drill it out. Drill it out, they say. It'll work. I've actually seen that happen on a board before where somebody drilled it out. Unfortunately, they used a bit that was much bigger than the holes. Question is this going to be repairable? Let's take a look. That looks particularly bad right here. As long as we find something to connect to, I think we can do it. Ground legs don't matter much. It'll anchor it in, and then we have that guy, which we should be able to reconnect to. A little worried about the fiberglass being cracked like so, but we'll see what we can do to anchor that in. So the thing's completely gone on this side. Anything that was there. And then flood with fresh new solder. Yeah, solder sucker from the other side. We could. Then we gotta stand the board up and start playing around with that to do it. What is that little switch for? Let me look at this case quick. What the hell is that switch for? That's the bottom. Where'd the top go? I lost it. There it is. So right beside the DC jack, that is a reset button or something? All right. Yeah. Definitely, I agree. Would would save having to work down the board each leg at a time. Plug was yeah. We'll try the solder sucker method. I don't have a desoldering gun or whatever you want to call it. So, do we have a job? Yeah, rip DC jack. Let's throw that on. I did update it. Let's go with the cheater method for standing a board up, so we don't have to manage it. little much on this, and we're gonna pull it back off. I know we can't see it, but it's all right. We'll be okay. We'll see how well this does or doesn't work. Absolutely hate these things. We may need to hit that again. It pulled some, not enough. All right, one down, two to go. Small parts makes you jittery. Working with any parts makes me jittery. I'm thankful to even be able to still do this after my start in 2025. I think we got that in one pull. All right, one more to go. Okay. Yay, 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 yay. Perfect. All right, those four opened up. Don't need emptied for a while. It's good. Nothing jammed up. We'll get this out in another 10 years. Take a gander at the handiwork. Reinforcing that fiberglass somehow, like around the edge to where it's broken, would be kind of cool, but I don't think entirely necessary. We're going to take a moment too and clean up all that crap so I quit jamming my fingers in it and getting thermal finger everywhere. Thermal thumb, thermal finger. Heat across the pond. That's false. He sent rain. He sent rain this way, and he slacked on the shipping. That's not true. Tell him, Chris. Didn't even like UPS second day air it or nothing. It was like 5 to 7 business days shipping on that rain. I don't think there's anything we're going to do for the PCB. I think we literally put the jack in and move on. Here's the other bad thing too. I guess we can do this under the microscope. So old DC jack, fairly decent sized plug would plug in. I think this is likely going to end up with more problems. This one isn't going to even plug in, so we're going to have to swap over to a different plug if I even have one that fits this. If not, we're going to have to order a stock charger that fits that crap. Let's look for one quick, see if we got something. I think I found our culprit. We shall see. What is it? 2-pin. Doesn't fit. All right, one down. So it's going to be an odd size. Or that one. Let's see if we have one that will plug on to the old adapter. A little chopped up. Man. Don't even know. But we're going to have to make it work. Let's make sure, because this isn't, I can't can't verify if this is from the same universal adapter kit because it was just a mixed bag of this and that. We will confirm that we get power to the center pin, plugging it into the wall. So we want some power coming out there, and small amount of solder wick, push the pin through it, and then solder mask it to the board, which will hopefully give you the missing trace. Yeah, I'm definitely throwing the solder wick down and then covering it. But let's make sure that we're going to get some, oh, I already have it on there, power. There we go. No minus sign, and we have the probes the right way around. So we're going to get 19.28 volts. We'll go ahead and attach it. Let's attach it while it's live. We'll leave it plugged into the AC adapter, see if we can get it soldered down while it's still juiced up. That was for this series laptop, what it was horrid. Like a stupidly small DC jack. Not the smallest, but stupidly small, and that's why they were bad. And broke a bunch. That's why it ended up with a bigger one on. I'm just going to sit right in. That will work. I don't want to get too crazy with the amount of solder wick adding, but we'll get some there. And if we push it down through, we don't want it coming back toward that trace. There, ideally, it'd be nice to come down through. I don't know. Don't know quite how to do it. I'll try and make something fancy happen with it, though. it's going to fray apart. Let's go ahead and put it together with some solder quick. Yeah, cutting wick, it may break up into some individual. Ooh, we got a glove. We got to knock that down quick. It's going to get hot. Don't touch it. There it is. Pulled that off there. We need it from this side. That's where the jack's going to sit. So I think something like that, and then we just chop it somewhere in that neighborhood. And I believe we have enough solder on there still to actually kind of hold it for the most part. We lost a little off the edge. That's okay. As long as we don't keep having them fly off. And get a couple more off of there just before it causes a bigger mess. Or it don't. Alright, time to clean it up. Clean up that area. What can we X-Acto that fiberglass pennant? Got to get out the grinder, the little what is that, trace grinding thing? Yeah, we're gonna have to. We're gonna knock some of it down with this. I hate this fine detailed custom work, but it is fun if you can get it fixed. But crazy how much the DC jack that was there ripped loose that part. That's just insane that the board even survived. Always wanted to try brass on the coating, so we're trying it now. Yeah, I don't think it does much more than fiberglass. Too flimsy. Let's check our fit. Like, I don't want to clean too far over to where those vias are. Maybe we chop that off some. I don't know. We'll consider it. Let's hope we didn't cut it too short, or we got to make another one. Or rebend it potentially. I like that. All right, let's add some solder to that. Well, that's the worrisome part right there. Are we gonna be able to fit it in there afterward, or do we just end up clipping the pin? That looks like it's gonna work. We'll have that poking out the bottom. We can hopefully, after soldered, maybe fold that a little. Let's connect the top side first. Make sure this port is set where it needs to be. Roughly halfway through the board. Looks a little high in the back, but I think we can get by with it. We'll try. We'll try to force it down. And that is about halfway. All right. I'm going to solder the two back legs in just to keep that around about where it is. Then we'll work on forcing that into place. Just get in there already. So I don't like these bigger tips. We might have to swap down. We'll fix that in a second. Oh, we're switching over. Now for the bigger problem. That. It's connected. Then we need to connect it there and continue on. Tell you what, if this one rips loose, that's going to be a heck of a rip. But at this point, it's going to be time for a new laptop. So we're not cutting, this isn't the pin, this is the solder wick that's poking down through. We're going to try and snip a little bit of that off. I don't know if we'll be able to. Yeah, normally it would be a pin there, and while we're here, we'll hit the bottom side of our 4 anchor legs. Come on, go. Thank you. Well, now, it doesn't look new by any means, but I think we'll get power to it, ideally. All right, let's rebuild it, see if we get power. Yeah, force be with me, yeah. It's going to be a force when it hits the garbage can at about 90 mile an hour. Well, before we do it, let's cover that. I didn't want to test it, or cover it, and then did not want to have to cover it up and then peel it back off, but I got faith it'll get power. It's a simple DC jack, right? That's should be easy. Actually, we'll get the scope back out for this one to cover it up. I mean, the pin's going to be there regardless. The pin's always sticking out. It's not like it was covered, but we'll cover that small little bit. at least with some coating. I don't think anything in the laptop's going to touch, but we'll still at least try to protect it a little bit. Unless anything gets in the way of the pin itself, it should be protected. Going by that. Oh yeah, I get power. Face, face, he says. We're gonna power it up into the garbage can. Like I said, we might break 100 on this one, 100 mile an hour. So typically, I always classically used to always use this, and it took forever to dry stuff because it's just a bunch of cheap little bulbs. Rather than getting a laser, I did find a flashlight that this one you could set it on your hand all day, and it you don't feel heat, you don't feel anything. That's this one, right? I found another one that actually has like a bright light and a target, and as soon as you put it on your hand, you can feel heat, and it actually works for drying this stuff, and the green and the blue and whatever other color of the UV solder mask. It has like a target, if you can kind of make that out on the mat. There's like an actual target and a hot spot. So we hit that for a few seconds and be done with it. And it's not a crazy 405, 400, 395 nanometer laser pointer. It's actually just a flashlight with, if I don't know how it focuses it or makes it stronger, but it has that hot spot in the center. I don't know, maybe it's a trick, maybe it's no better than this, but it does dry stuff like a lot better. So I've been going with it. Let's check it out. And it has a level indicator of how much charge is in the battery with the little deal there. Even pressing into it, it is hard. like we're hopefully you can hear that tapping. So there. And it dries the blue and the green like that. What I found though is using this newer light on the blue, green, red, whatever, yellow, whatever color solder mask you have, it dries the bottom, and then you have a thin wet layer on the top. And if you can either wipe the thin wet layer off the top using this light, or take it out in the sun, and the sun will dry the top layer. These suck. Don't waste money on them. This much better. Even has a cold tinted lens, so. What do we think? This thing's gonna power up? We don't need that piece. We need the other pot. Ooh, we did. Yeah, we're gonna have to put a. Maybe put a pad here to help support the DC jack, because the housing that supported it was carved away to fit the bigger jack. We'll figure that out when we'll cross that bridge later. Fuck is that? Sounds like we took a grinder to the lid. Definitely what, Mr. Chris? I do like the figure 8 jack on the side. That would be nothing doing the conversion there. That would just be 110 straight in. 240 if they travel to your country, right? Hell. Alright. It's nice to not have glare on the board, but at a certain point, you just need to be able to see. So, we'll drop the exposure on the camera a little bit. That'll cut down your glare, but I can still see what I'm doing. Okay, that goes in all fair and well. I think we'll wait on that for a moment. Just in case we do send any juice where we don't want it, we'll keep the hard drive unplugged. I don't expect to, but you never know. We also got to clean this guy up quick. So let's do that while we're here. Too much, too much. It'll work. Let it be. Just let it work, okay? Straight, straight up 240. Phone keeps glitching. Your phone or mine? Oh, your phone. Yeah, I thought it was Chris saying phone glitching. Pearl. Well, try watching it on Twitch instead of YouTube. You can still. Well, nobody will be in the chat. I take that back. So maybe not a great idea. Or there might be somebody in the Twitch chat. I do not know. Are you guys in both chats? You wacko. No, that's. Or are you? No, that's YouTube. Yeah, YouTube. I had to look for a moment. I'm looking at multiple things. However, did they get away with only having two anchors on this processor? Like I thought you had to do like the X pattern or the square, the reverse square, two side, the other side. All these technical patterns for turning screws down, and they just skipped two of the anchors on this one. What's going on there? Mm-hmm. And the laptop's working this many years later. Imagine that. Oh boy. So the hard drive will do, but not yet. And I suppose, see, this is a screwy setup if I've ever seen one. So we got to plug this in some way. Got soda spilled on it. We're gonna have to clean that up. Let's get some sauce to clean that up. Soda, I don't know, some type of liquid. It's not the comes with the computer type. soda or sticky substance, so we got to remove it. Soda, coffee, something. It's got a brown tinge. Battery plugged in. Good, good, good. Is there a power button on our keyboard? No. Where the hell is the power? On the side, isn't it? It's a goopy side button. Okay, so there's a side button and a reset button. Perfect to know. Perfect. We don't, we don't even need that to test power. We got to take it back apart for the hard drive, so let's test power and be done. Where'd the power go? No snap, crackle, pop. Come on, we got to let the ghost out. All right, so the battery's plugged in. That's like kind of good news, I guess. And then we have our status lights here. So we have battery charge light there. All right, and we have a charge light coming on and power, but it's going to do exactly nothing right now because there's no hard drive. And it's just literally going to do that. No hard drive. Maybe make it to BIOS, but we don't have a keyboard. But we do have power. Don't know. Let's try the hard drive avenue. All right, powered down. We have to disconnect our battery and then reconnect everything. We hope mission accomplished. I mean, it was flicking on and off, but again, there was no hard drive loading, and I don't know that the BIOS on this is complex enough to know that if no operating system loads, boot to BIOS like some desktop motherboards. So we'll find out real shortly. Where did they go? Oh, that warranty sticker's been dead. It's not going to count for nothing. And that will come up through for the keyboard. A little bit of soda on the ribbon cable. Perhaps we just give it a wipe off. So throw a few screws in to retain that keyboard. There's going to be 3 silver ones. And then the rest are oddball color. The bottom case is broken on the corner. screw holes missing. That's not good. Well, new bottom case, and we're not making one today. Okay, it's loading Windows up. And it shows that we have power. The little lightning bolt. It's hard to see, but the little lightning bolt is on our battery. And then we can kind of also confirm it. We have our power light, and I don't know if that's supposed to blink. I thought it lit, but I don't know this laptop. We'll see. Anyhow, we'll put this off to the side and let it do its thing. Plug it in elsewhere and move on. Absolutely no idea what a bottom case would cost for one of these, but a worthy investment if the owner wants to continue using it long term. You can kind of glue those holes back in place, like cut them off of another laptop and put the through holes from another bottom case in their place, but they usually end up snapping off, or it just breaks in a different way or breaks the plastic further. So unless absolutely necessary, yeah, I don't mess with it. Let's have a drink. What do we got? Yeah, nothing good in there, so we'll go to the cup. Next on the bench, a real menace. Get the show on the road. What are we getting on the road? There's nothing to get on the road. We got a real menace to work on here. I'm gonna clean a little first. It's not even gonna come all that super clean, but Series S Xbox. Yay! Pop on over to the microscope. Have a look. I see. Look at that HDMI port. That is. Yeah, it's not going to work the way it is. How did they do that? I wonder. That's nice. Real nice. Alright, now I have to remember how to tear one of these apart. It has been a moment since I've opened one of these. Here and here. And one of them didn't even stay, so Let's see if I can find one to put on. The other side here. Is there anything that holds? Yeah, we gotta take a few screws out. Which ones hold it to the top case? Is it the greenies? I think it's the greens. Fairly certain it's the green ones that hold this metal shell inside the plastic. I could be wrong. Did I miss one? Yeah, right in dead center. Duh. Alright. The greenies. Ah, you're still with us. Friend, it's getting late over there. Yes, no? I don't remember this stupid little board being there on a Series S, but I guess so. I'm not gonna argue it, but I don't remember it personally. That'd be me slacking for sure in the brains department. Like, these are a treat to work on, if I remember correctly. Compared to the PS5, man, there's just so many screws in those. Like, ridiculous amount of screws. That stays on. We have to take the cap off, which is going to be this cap will lift off once we take the goldish, whatever color they are out. Is that true? Yeah, it has to almost be true. Or does the top don't lift now, does it? Yeah, it does. We don't need to take anything out. Now we're gonna start removing all the other stuff. I was thinking of Xbox One for a moment. What is that? That's our figure 8, which is part of the power supply. We'll get there. Get out of the way. Where's the T8? The T8? Or no, is it bigger? And if I take those out, that lets the board fall out. But we still have, I think, an X clamp in place. I think. It really has been a long time since I've been inside of a digital one, Series S, such as this. Like a year. Maybe a little less, a little longer, I don't know. It's mainly Series X and PS5s, PS4s. The board should come out, and X clamp is there. That's for that. That guy's for that. We'll probably try and get any dust out of there and ball those back up so they can smash and make good contact. What a mess. What an absolute mess. Alright, we're gonna cover this again. It's been a while since I've had to do this, but we'll go ahead and do it. People say don't use a screwdriver on these, use the tool. Personally, I don't like this tool. I've had it since the Xbox 360 days. This would be your X clamp removal tool where you can go under and pry and pop those off. And you can still mess some stuff up if you're not paying attention with this tool. Let's brighten that up just a hair. The simple way that I've found to put these in is you have your copper pads that are all the way around these, the pieces that protrude through from the heatsink. Put a screwdriver in, and you're not going to dig around with it. You just put it in and pry toward the opposite side, and one of these will pop right off, generally. So you put this in and just pry just a little bit. The other one comes off, and at that point, you are almost free to take this off without any issue. They don't always come off easy, and that's where you can use a tool or force it off, like so. But yeah, literally no pressure, no digging with this thing. These do work, but I just don't prefer them. I like screwdriver, little pressure, corner pops up. It works for me. Man, that stuff is mangled. That is a weird placeholder. That one there. And that. Is there even anything under there? Huh, okay. Maybe for even spacing, I don't know. That thermal paste dried up. Well, sorta. Yeah, that's pretty. It's still tacky, but it's crumbling for the most part. It's alright, we'll throw some new on there. Let's do our prep now and get everything cleaned up quick. Where did it go? We're going to need to airline that at some point. We did knock most of the dirt out. We'll clean that up quick. And then we got to get to this port. It's going to be fun lifting that off there. Hopefully no traces come with it. Man, I would not want to mess with those things. Those teeny tiny little filters, whatever the hell they are. No thanks. Alright, let's get this cleaned up and continue on. At least it's not a Series X. We'll probably still rip some traces on this one today, but that's okay. We're going to cross our fingers that we don't. Right? We're actually going to cross the fingers that we don't rip any traces. And really try to minimize it if we do. Yeah, slot on there, lift back end of tool. I know how they work. Like, I use them on the 360, like, whenever that was new. But I prefer the screwdriver method. It just way less pressure. And you don't have to worry about going under at the wrong angle and digging into something. You're not even anywhere near The only thing you're touching is that. And granted, you know, there's stuff that's not the only one there's anything near would be here and then here, depending on the angle you go in. But at most, I'm doing that, touching it with the screwdriver method, touching that gold ring. But yeah, no, people have their own preferences. That's the way I prefer to do it. I just don't like that tool. It was even slightly little bit worse on the 360, but not horrible. What a mess. Man, I don't even want to look at it. We know there's leaded solder on the back. I have to look at these ports. I got to look at one to see what's happening. It's a PS5. Oh, these are the ones with those stupid little legs that solder on underneath, aren't they? Indeed, they are. And this one has the two pins, and then is it going to be like a Series X and have that stupid little plastic knob stuck in place under there? Let's hope not. But probably. Most certainly. Alright, this is where it's going to get stupid. We got to turn the AC off so it's going to get ridiculously hot. We're going to get some ice for our drink and then continue on. Alright. Let's get prepped for yoinking that HDMI port off. Well, that's good. We don't have any components right at the port. That's refreshing. Port at the right height. That little plastic is a menace. Our little, I thought that's what our, let's take a look here. I thought that's what our little friendly legs did, but I guess no, they don't keep it at the right height. All I know is they are a menace sometimes to get them to attach. Let's hope it happens today. We'll hope that cheapo actually feels like working. This ain't about patience. This is about you can't screw it up or you're gonna be buying something super expensive. No. Which will probably screw it up in all the like. Oh. So I put this port on before, so there's going to be leaded on them legs. I shouldn't need to add it, being that it's already there. I'm going to try and park hard drives on there. They wait to keep our board in place. And hopefully not have it flex or be dancing around, nothing like that. There we go. Stack of hard drives. Port needs some hot air. So it should be leaded the whole way around because this was previously in for work. So let's see if we can yoink it off of there. It's going to take an eternity to get this thing. Oh, we need lower airflow. I'm glad I remembered. I don't want to blast the components off. We're going to say, what is that? That would be 50, 45, like 40. A little above 45%, 40, 45%. Low airspeed. High temperature, low airspeed. Let's throw some heat down on the top first just to get help get those pins warm. All right, let the nightmare begin. Oh, great. Phone chiming in with something I'm sure important. Definitely not. Well. Let's go. The port is loose. Now the question is, are them pins loose? Leaded heats up a lot quicker than the lead free. So let's hit it with some hot air. Again, just to make sure it's loose. And we're going to pick up ever so lightly once we put hot air on this again. All right, no rip pads, and all due to there is no plastic unless it's stuck to the port. No plastic on these, only the X. I don't even see a spot where it was stuck. Now we have to put one back on there. We already have leaded on there. what do we do? Clean that up and plink one right back on, right? Right. Let's let that cool down. We'll flip over to the scope. Really, I haven't even. I've been stopping tinning the pads on these ports too, but I think we might in this case, just to help get some solder on there already. I don't tin these though. I let those grab if they do. Are we officially out of flux? We may not be putting it on that way. I need the flux to show up. Well, here we go. I know it's hard to see silver going on silver. Ooh, don't loosen up. You need to stay in place, friend. We're going to have to unbridge that and all those, which means more flux. Or not. There's enough off of there, it'll go on. Alright, let's see if we can get this attached to that board that's on the other view. I think we're going to be crawling around looking for a screw here before long. I think I knocked one off the bench, but that's alright. We'll find it. We'll get it when we need it. Alright, let's hope. Fingers crossed. We need a lot of heat flowing into this thing. Oh, we got a mute. Never know who it is. No, I just don't throw phone calls out. Never know what they're talking about. What if it's the government? Oh, are we back? We should be back. Can I see myself talk? I can see myself talking. Should be unmuted. Definitely. Ideally. Yes. And my mic's going to die soon, so we got to get this put on there and be done with it. All right, let's hope. We're going to heat the top up just for good measure. Just because of tradition. Blasting hot air down on the top. Didn't come off too troublesome once there's leaded solder there, which I'm kind of happy about. Very few consoles do I get to work on for a second time, or third in some cases. But yeah, they play hard with this one, I guess. So all right, we have the port fairly not centered at all, but we'll try. There we go. Let's pick it back up and throw a little bit more hot air on here quick, and then we'll switch it over to the bottom. The leaded solder melts so much easier. Can't believe they switched to lead free on all the junk they make today. Like, I understand the aspect of doing it, but it's just ridiculous. Try and get all that melted. We want to see the pads melt and go shiny silver. I don't know if it will convey on video, but when I see them all melt here, I know they're all and everything's shiny silver. Like, everything is officially melted now. If I can just put this on and not burn my fingers and scorch them. Oh, didn't drop in. Or did it? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gonna hold it and then let go. And see if the back grabbed. Do that audible, inaudible countdown, however you want to do it, but it felt like that port went on way crooked, but I guess it didn't. Like if the board was flat, it felt like the port went on like lifted up the whole back side, which it may be. We'll check it when we get there. Components still in place from what I can tell. Close to the port. And looks good, but we'll check it under the scope. That's the way you really check it. Hopefully we've got adhesion on everything that we need it. Or I guess adhesion. We got hopefully solder flow on everything. Let's jump under the scope and see how bad of a job we did or didn't. So those, I'm going to tell you right now, those few on the end did not connect, and possibly a few right here, maybe all of them. That's all right. We'll hit it with the iron. Silver tweezers, there they are. All right, let's take a look. If they're loose, they're loose. Yep, loose, loose, loose. Yeah, so could have held it down longer. That flux sticking some of them. We got to go across it anyhow. Don't like it, but we'll get it. All right, so we got the legs in. I'm not going to press too. Yeah, we might have barely got one. That's all right. We'll go across with the micro pencil and attach all those quick. Super easy. We have flux there already on some, so that's going to make it even easier. And we'll drop a little more flux on the other ones. We'll switch out the iron quick. Someday we'll have a station where we can plug two in, but for today, we got to swap them. Turn our AC back on too, as it's getting stupid hot in here. The reason I turn it off, at least, is with that super cheap hot air station that I have. It is an absolute nightmare for doing airflow, because just some of the airflow is thwarted and makes it cool down quicker. But hey, I digress. Let's go. What do we need? Flux or no? Maybe we'll try a little. Should be enough to let us get connected. Let's go ahead. Yeah, let's find out if they're all connected. Hopefully. Connected. Let's clean that up. Even though we don't need to, we'll clean it up quick. All right, now let's pop back over to, we're going to hit this side, and is that it? That is the port. It is a little cockeyed. I was right. It did go on just a tad bit rotated. Not bad. Made it. That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's certainly it. All right, so we're going to use our iron to hit these and make sure that each of those legs, that the solder flows up through, because we did press them down through. So we want to make sure that each of them are grabbing. And we'll do that from this side here. We're going to hit it, swap back over to the bigger iron. Versus the micro pencil, we need a lot of thermal mass. We'll actually swap over from the bent conical tip to a big flat wide one, or not too huge, I guess, just bigger than that. Oh, people dropping off. Sorry. Did that go in? I think so. All right, let's go. Last little bit, we get to reassemble. Okay, let's see what that looks like this side. Did it? It didn't come up as much as I wanted. We're probably gonna have to flood some more on. Even though they were filled whenever we put them in, I would like to see more there. So let's do it. Didn't get much up on that one. That one actually came up some. That one got some more around it. And that one, I believe they're all connected, but that one's too empty for comfort. So we'll go with these front two. Just add some more on. we may have to switch over to a big, or I can't remember on the Series S if we need the bigger one or if we can actually get it to go in and grab. It has been a minute, so it did come up a little more, and still fairly empty there. That one's up. It is hot this side, so I'm going to trust that they connected. Let's look at our port. The port is in place. That's good. Let's reassemble this thing and I forgot. Iron around the scope. Let's resemble that statement and move on. Yeah, almost guaranteed I knocked the screw down. Unless I didn't. We'll find out when we get there. What do we want to do? Gonna try and mute and go run the air compressor. It's loud. Don't want to blow people's ears out. So we'll be right back. Gonna mute up for right now. All right. Let's resemble this statement. I'm gonna go wash my hands. They're dirty. I'll be right back. Again, we don't need to mute for water though. All right. Let's continue on. just to prove a point. We're going to pick this gunk up. Maybe it ruins the thermal properties of it. I don't know. We're going to get a nice reattachment where we put this on for all of these. Sadly, there's dirt in it, just the slightest bit, but and also I don't know if this is doable, but we're doing it because the stuff is pliable. It's very pliable, and if you're gonna squash it back on when it was already squashed, it may match up, but why do that if we could get it to be pliable again and smash it on? As I said, maybe it ruins the thermal capacity of the stuff. I don't know. I don't think so, but we'll see. Maybe somebody can inform me or correct me on matters. I am unknowing in this matter. We need some thermal paste on our APU, and then we'll squash that down and put the clamp on. Ooh, I absolutely hate these clamps. Got it. Attached. And let's go for this guy too. And all this stuff does, I think, is works like a thermal pad, but it's more of a paste, and it is still very, very pliable. So let's chop that hunk of dirt off. There. There. All right, so we got to put our little thermal buddy back on here. We're not thermal little padded buddy back on where there's still a little bit of adhesive there, but I don't expect it to hold a whole lot. Nah. Try and use some IPA to get that adhesive tacky, maybe. Nope, we'll use our own. And don't quiz me on the importance of these pads. I have no clue. We're just going to put it back where it was. If it'll even stick, I doubt it. Nah. Yeah. All right, we got that. Let's start putting it back together. Also, we got this guy. He's probably not going to stick on there. Maybe. And no. Okay. I'll glue him back. I don't have any rubber cement or anything like that right now, so we'll just use what we got. Dang, something is popping off out there. I don't know what, but it's happening. I keep hearing sirens. Alright, he's on. What else do we need to do? Do I even bother messing with those? Nah, it'll be alright. It'll be fine. At least we hope. Fan. We need to clean the fan first. It's pretty filthy. It's gonna take a few minutes, but that's alright. It'll be clean once we're done. Clean enough. Can't remember if these fans are oddballs to power up like the one on the PS4, PS5, where I don't know if the power wires are split or something, but I need to look at it and see sometime. Make a direct power adapter because a good way to clean fans when they're filthy dirty, as long as you're not spraying liquid that conducts right into the motor and the electronics, is to soak them and then have it. Yeah, that didn't work. And then have it on, and the liquid will go on and clean it right off as it's turning. But with depending on how high RPM the fan is, it can make a right mess. So not always the best method. This stuff is coated on there pretty good, so Good layer of dust on it. We are getting there. All right, reassembly time, and then we can do whatever testing. I'm going to send it out to my KVM first, though, to test, and then I think we'll end it there. I had another project I wanted to do, but it's late. I want to go home. Hold on a minute here. 2 of those should be greenies, which means one of them should be gold. Let's try it. I think that is the case here. Or did no greenies pass through? That would be greenie, and that would be gold, and that would be a greenie. All right, all the gold is going to be in that area. Let's wind them in. And then the 2 for the figure 8 cable. Wrong size. That happens. All right, should be good on that. Let's throw this in here. Yep, we got to throw our boards on, but it's going to fit. So let's get our boards put on quick and then throw it back in. No screws in the wrong spots. Was that a 3 one? Yeah. Too much. We'll go back to a driver maybe. Where'd it go? Even if it is wrong, it'll put them in. Some days these work with you, and other days they don't. Like that. Couple drops in a row, and it just gets frustrating. But then again, sitting winding these by hand is also like equally frustrating. But it's not a PS5. Those have entirely too many. All right, let's throw the board in and looks good. Let's put the greenies in. All right, last one. Throw the bottom on, then give this thing a clean quick. And do a check. Something was spilled in there, man. That sticky, syrupy, more than likely carbonated beverage. Oh, the feet are missing? I don't know that I have white plastic, so we'll just stick it back down on the one. There's still 4 feet there. Ah. Oop. Probably shouldn't have did that. Oh well. Hopefully nothing important was erased. All right, let's grab the world's longest figure 8 cable out right after we clean our bench. Get rid of all the crap. All right, for sure not perfect, but all right. The question of the day, is it going to work? We've got the world's longest figure 8 cable. And then we got to grab KVM HDMI lead, which would be you. And the controller. You know what I didn't do? We got to take it back apart. I forgot the lid. That's all right. We'll throw it back on. I totally blanked on that one trying to get this thing done. We got to throw the lid on, so that's vitally important. But it's not going to stop us from testing it. We may stop us from testing it if we can't find all the correct parts. But yeah. All right, let's find out. Does it go to the KVM? Oh, let's plug it in. All right. All right, so we got to swap from my PC over to the KBM. It's my PC, KBM land. Preparing console. There we go. Don't turn off or unplug your console. Hopefully we can see that. I'm not going to throw it up on the screen. KBM is here. And we've got a green bar going across, which is hard to see. Oh, I forget where it shows the name on Xbox. Where does it show? Upper right? In the middle? Who the heck knows? And there we go. They want us to sign in. So let's hit the B button. Or that one. Hit English, United States. And choose a connection, which we're not going to connect. It's actually, yeah, we can. Let's use a wired connection real quick here. These things have a port, don't they? Well, certainly. No, it's still going to ask us to sign in. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Yeah, no, we're not signed in. Somebody else can do that. It's up and running. We're going to turn off console. All right. We don't get the resolution test. I don't know. I think you might be able to sign in with as a guest, but I can't figure it out with Xbox. Like it really, I can't figure it out with an Xbox. But hey, HDMI display is working now. The port's in. We just got to put the damn shield back on. What do we have to do that? Take all the greenies out? We might as well do it and get it done. I was in a hurry to test the port, so let's put our shield back on. What do we have to take out? I think the greenies only? I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, the greenies. All the greenies got to come out. So what? 5, 6, 7, however many's there. Good gosh, that thing. Where's the screwdriver I want? Anybody that doesn't thoroughly know these is probably wondering what shield. Let me go back to my monitor so I have readout now. Did it come back? So I had to absolutely despise these things. That shield. So when you get in a hurry, you forget stuff. It's okay because it's not a hard thing to throw back in there. And it's fairly quick at that. Okay, just give a quick check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Good. And throw this back on and be done. Get out of here for the day. Not the first time that I forgot that shield, and it's certainly not going to be the last. It's such an oddball part. And when you're just trying to get the thing together entirely to test, I've probably done that a dozen times or better. But hey, I don't have a stack of them here from skipping putting them in. I always have to turn around and put them back in. And I think we will wind it there, man. It's hot. The AC can't keep up on all days. I think we'll end her there. I did have another project, but it's late, and I'm just going to do that another day. So time to clean up and go home. Thank you, people, for hanging out, whoever made it. And if you come back and hang out and watch it, also thank you. Yeah, we're going to mill around cleaning up all our tools and be done, I think. Sounds like a plan. Have a good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is. And we'll see you next time. Probably next week. I'll probably come back on here and do something. Actually, that's got to stay with my camera. All right, people, we're out. Laptop. Let's check on the status of it. I almost forgot. We about ended it without. Ha ha ha. Well, that's kind of good news, right? So we have a sleeping status indicator. That blinking white light. That means the laptop is sleeping, and when we plug it in, we now have a solid white light, which means it is charged, or should be well charging. It's no longer orange and blinking. We'll take a look. Okay, so it's still charging. So we're about half full, not fully charging. The battery is charging up. That's good. And possibly the light will go out once it's done. I don't know. But yeah, there you go. Right there. Bing, bing. 2 lights. Charging up. We like it. All right, I'm out of here this time. See ya. Thank you for hanging out, commenting, interacting with each other. Lots of fun. Later, people. Love you. We'll see you next time.